Warning: the following video might contain some elements that may not be suitable for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. This may seem sacrilegious, but Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog aren't the only platform gaming mascots who will ever matter. In fact, with Sony entering the console video game industry, they have a trick up their sleeves that doesn't involve constructing a CD add-on for the Super Nintendo. Hopefully for their sake and ours, this will be a much more commercially successful endeavor. Us at Naughty Dog are developing a character known as Crash Bandicoot, who Sony plans on marketing as if he is their official video game mascot. Even for whatever reason, they refuse to record him in such a manner. There are plans to use him in Pizza Hut ads, they'll actually just use some balding middle 40-year-old dude who will attempt to, as we reach out to the younger generation. Imagine a talking bear with a skateboard and sunglasses who tell kids to stay off drugs. And that guy in the commercial will be like that. Well, we perfect the real deal, so to speak. As far as Crash Bandicoot goes, there's much more to his story than what I've just written. He'll have more attitude than the aforementioned Sonic, and even have stylish. He'll even have stylish blue jeans that will make him more relatable to tweens and other young adults. He'll collect Wumpa fruit or mangoes. We're not sure of the name yet, as if they're Mario style coins. Cliche or not, it'll be fun and really accepted by the gaming populace, especially when they see the live action advertising we're developing. When I was young, I knew everything, but in actuality, I was just a punk who really never took advice, unless if it came from my video game industry buds. At some point, I volunteered to help out Naughty Dog. Please don't call me an intern because I wasn't, if anything, I wasn't a neglected friend of some of the folks who worked there. My main tasks were purchasing coffees and sodas and pizzas and not complaining about it. Even if they paid me a pack of gum instead of sub minimum wage in exchange for the fruit of my labors, on top of it, I wanted to feel like I was a part of something in the video game industry. I felt like I was making history by helping bring the orange marsupial to life in family playrooms and gaming dens across the globe. Well, I did just that, in more ways than one. Knock knock. I bang on the front door of our hidden game development HQ. It was a rundown factory, which we happily chose between. There were next to no taxes on it. There was no answer. It was kind of strange, but I waited. It was 6:15 in the morning, and me and Crash Bandicoot developer Charles Zambellis were always the first ones in, with him being the very first to arrive. After all, it's when I had to tell the new kid what flavor sprinkles of donuts to purchase for the guys who really mattered. And if I was lucky, he also supplied me with a toothbrush to sparkle the toilets the sparkles. The sparkle the toilets with. Sparkles. I was a jack of all trades. 5 minutes or so after my initial knocking, I knocked again, now in with a little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog-esque attitude. Luckily for me, Charlie answered this time. He seemed a little off, for I didn't notice it right away. I think you have some ink on your forehead, to Charles. It was like he woke up from a bad dream. He looked untidy, unkempt, unlike his usual self. I think you should come inside. It's freaking freezing out here. But, well, that, and I have something non-X-rated to show you. It's a secret fruit, so keep your lips sealed. You dig? I know that it wasn't every day that someone showed me something that mattered. I crossed my fingers and hoped it wasn't a dead rat for me to dispose of, or an eviction notice from the landlord. Charlie, he took me to the very back of the building, a room I'd never been to before. Keep out, it read, in bold red letters. It was in the Wingdings font, but I studied Wingdings so well to the point that I had all the symbols memorized. I bragged about that in school once, and the school bully gave me a wedgie. His name was Armpit. He was Eastern Indian. Also, when I got home from school that day, I found my ant collection in shards. Are you sure we're allowed in? I cried to Chuck. I shivered. True, maybe it was because we didn't have proper heating in our modest urban dwelling. It was the kind of place in which you see pipes hanging from the walls, rusted and dark graffiti. I never really thought much about the art people favoring it around there, but I did notice an outline of what happened to what appeared to be one of those secret decoder rings you might find in a cereal box. If you have your secret decoder ring, solve the puzzle now. I captured below the makeshift jewel red. Again, I don't know why this unnerved me. It just did. Now, give it in. I run the place. I said it's fine. Should I open the door? Come on, take a seat. You got it. We got stuff to talk about. Then I got something to show you. Again, it's not X-rated, so sorry about that. All the vague language bothered me more than a little bit. Also, I don't know what the hinge on the door was composed of, but whatever was creaked like a cat and I didn't have a foot to throw at it. Charles showed me to a couple of plastic lawn chairs and instructed me to have a seat. If Sony truly offered our modest programming and development crew a few $1,000, it certainly didn't go into this building's furnishment. I hope you don't mind me saying this, Charles, but the crappy get up here is making me wonder where those couple of G's got spent, if you know what I mean. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Chuck wandered off into some space that couldn't have been much larger than a one-person lavatory. I got a little something I want you to taste test. Again, it's not X-rated. Darn, I was really hoping for a fuzzy peach. Well, believe it or not, kid, you're on the right track. Charles came back. He had some sort of fruit item in his hand. Yeah, it definitely looked kind of like a peach. Fruit. I didn't know for sure what it was. It reminded me of the Wampa fruit I overheard the people who mattered. In other words, everyone who wasn't me, discussing the game dev meeting. It's a mango, he said. Try it. I don't know. This doesn't look so good. I added, feeling around the texture. It was kind of soft. A little slushy, even. It was like it had already gone bad on the inside. If you like working in the game development biz, you try it, Lewis. It was like Charlie to threaten me, combined with the pen ink scribbling on his forehead and the fizzy, untidy hair. I was beginning to think that there was something wrong with Charles Zambellas. Regardless, I thought of my dreams. Louis Digges, president of Naughty Dog, leading Crash Bandicoot to the new golden age of gaming, come to 2030s and 2040s. Modern Sonic would be often mushroomy and green hill pastures, but Crash would be a mainstay and an indisputable king of gaming mascots. Fine, man. I really don't see why me eating a peach, mango, whatever, has much to do with my job. But frick it, I'll try it. Charles asked me to apologize for cussing, and I did. Then I took a bite of the mango. Wow, was it disgusting? I knew a hot girl named Margot once. She was the first fan or person, whatever, I don't mean to objectify women to enter my mind once I learned about this exotic new fruit. But this fruit wasn't so hot. It was disgusting because it's rancid, but even worse, I saw something sharp. I spit the fricker out like a filthy clock who just learned that her time on the clock had expired. Chuck fumed. He was visibly pissed. Untidy wasn't even a word. I felt a tingling in my spine as he turned as red as the red mango was orange. He brushed the hair out of his eyes to review. An N. You have a giant staticky N on your forehead, Charles, like the guy from the classic British comedy Red Dwarf. Yet instead of a L, you have a frickin' N. Hey man, no more cursing. You haven't even begun to see what's next. By the way, mainly, you just swallowed a needle. He laughed notorically, but as for me, I went dizzy. Who the frick is Oh, nope, I didn't get to finish the sentence. I was out cold. I woke up in the laboratory. It's full of random chemicals that doesn't mean much to me, so I didn't bother worrying too much about it. Charles, or should I say, the mad doctor, turned around in a swivel chair and stared directly at me, like into my soul, even. He seemed to have lost a lot of height, not just inches, but feet. His eyebrows were thicker. He looked really, really angry, but kind of funny at the same time. Somehow, even if I didn't find this situation funny at all. Charles, why? There is no Charles. I have a faint, fuzzy memory of someone else from some other time, but he's gone now. My name is Dr. Neo. Dr. Neo Cortex. He left maniacally, twirling his hair like a flirty schoolgirl, and as for you, I have a faint memory of you being someone else. But I believe you have recently changed. And I don't just mean your clothes, huh? I look around some more, but what I really should have been looking at was me. My skin had turned orange, or was that all just hair? My gut had shrunk into what looked like a marsupial-shaped belly. Instead of my classic black aesthetic sweatpants, I was wearing stylish blue jeans. I stared into a lab mirror and noticed, oh no, oh my god, Oh my freaking god. The best part was that my eyes were beautiful and piercing green. The worst part was that I'm no longer human. Crash Bandicoot! You're the video game! Dr. Cortex screamed. At that moment, I freaked the hell out. Lucky he hadn't tied me down so well, and I buzzed my way out. I didn't know what to do, because if I called the police, they would just take me to animal control or a zoo or something. I was going so mad. I spun around faster and faster, like a Tasmanian devil. Even as Dr. Neo Cortex came closer and closer, I realized that there were mangoes everywhere. I spun and spun and spun. They all went flying. I know I had to do something about Charles or Dr. Neo's or Dr. Cortex's behavior in the fast. I don't know what it was. Something instinctive, maybe, but I left on some of the lab crates. I was expecting to land on some beakers or something otherwise sharp and glassy that would cut me open and make me bleed. And inside were even more mangoes. Well, as well as a tiki mask. Woodabuga! It was like, it was lifelike. I mean, not like CG from a movie or like some cheap mechanical object made in 8th grade science class, but was real. Dr. Cortex jumped on me, knocked me to the ground. He playfully licked me. This part is X-rated, he screamed. I realized what he meant when he hit me with some sort of X-ray laser beam. I expected to hurt like hell, and I mean I up a little bit, but all that really happened was the tiki mask that was hovering around me suddenly went away. Huh. I spun my way out of this uncomfortable position. I jump and jump and jump, leaping on box after box. I somehow found 3 of those island-inspired masks, and I felt like I could do anything. Somehow, I ran to Dr. Cortex. He screamed comically, and his gun went flying. I was not interested in killing anyone or anything, so I ran and ran, and I ran. I picked up a lab coat and a detective-like hat from a rack on my out the lab. I put them on and rummaged through the pockets and out of the coat to find an airline ticket to find some tropical island somewhere. As I felt my nose becoming rounder and less like a man's, I realized that I may not have much time to make an escape, but now I knew where I could go. It'll be a 9 o'clock flight. I'm sorry that I've written enough about this. It's getting physically harder and harder for me to write. And I know that I can't get myself to speak too many words, neither. Just let it be known what's really going on here. I know no one can help me. So I'm making a fresh start, far away, hopefully where Dr. Neo Cortex will never find me again. And I will cease to imitate art. With love, Lewis. Crash Bandicoot's girlfriend, Tana, finished looking through the long, neglected journal that Crash kept among his other recently untouched belongings. According to him, ever since he was hit by a boulder in a hog racing accident, his memory had been off. He couldn't explain to her at sure who he was or where he was from, but now she knew the truth. It was too much for her. She packed her things, 56 swamp of fruit, a couple of enormously large multicolored gems, and a tiki mask of her own, and left the hut, never to be seen or heard from again. So that was Crash Bandicoot Origins, and my thoughts on it is, it's a kind of a mediocrely weird story. Like in this story, Crash Bandicoot used to be human, and Charles Zambellis, which should have been artist instead of like creator of Crash Bandicoot, pretty much becomes Dr. Cortex. Like, seriously? Well, there's like some like that pretty crazy twist of whole Crash Bandicoot, you're in the game, which that's kind of hilariously scary. Like, god damn it, is this some kind of like a meta joke for this creepypasta? And also that the epilogue after the last bit of the story about Lewis or Crash writing his last journal, where Tana, which it's kind of I think it's kind of a weird epilogue with a whole of Tana looking at Crash's journal and something about used to be human. Like, it should have been better if it's actually someone else. I think the epilogue should have been better if it's actually like if Lewis's sister or parents read his journal, read a note that he sent like, seriously, why a fictional video game waifu Bandicoot reading a freaking journal note from Crash? And anything else about this creepypasta? It's the beginning part is kind of okay, because we already know whole like Crash Bandicoot, Sony just wanted a platform game that could compete with Mario and Sonic, yada yada yada, which we already know about it. And overall, this creepypasta is kind of mediocrely weird. So I had to pronounce that word correctly. So yeah, anywho, I just hope you enjoyed this creepypasta reading, and like and comment this video and subscribe more content. So bye bye.